All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Typeractive Premium Corne. Now, originally I was going to do this as a build video, but I very quickly found out, as I usually do with Typeractive builds, that they're very simple, so they don't really fit the best for a build video, which is a good thing for this, which we'll see as we talk about it. But instead we're going to be doing what I'm calling a show and tell video, where I pretty much just show you the board and try to let you decide if it's something you want to pick up. Now, I will say, for me, if I was going to personally buy this and it wasn't sent to me for free, I would actually get it because it's very nice. It is a very premium build, which we will kind of go over. But without much else to say here, let's just jump into the overhead and I can start to show you what this Typeractive Premium Corne is about. So here is the build here, all fully assembled. If I pick up this right half here and just kind of show you, these are also their MBK Hypersonic keycaps on top, which are very, very nice. But what I wanted to talk about first here is what exactly makes this a premium corne? Well, that's very simple. If we look at it here, you can see it has this really nice anodized aluminum case around here. So if we take a look at that, it's like this really nice blue color. I believe it's called navy blue or midnight blue, something like that. It's on the website. I could fix it and quote it on screen, whatever it is. But also we have our nice cutout here for our USB-C port for charging, and of course wired connectivity on the left half here if you wanted to plug these in. This is a wireless build because it is using nice nanos, which is really nice to see. But if we just keep looking around this, you can see it's a very simple design. It's just a corne build. But also we have this really interesting interface section on the left half here, or well, the left half of the right half here. So we have it on there, and then of course on the other half. And what that is, it just kind of makes the build a little bit more premium. You're going to see a trend here, the premiumness of different features on this. We have our little power button below and then our reset button up above. And the reason for that is that if we look on here, you can kind of see those in there. That instead of just being a hole there, it kind of adds an extra layer of premiumness to it, which is pretty nice. Now, the other thing on this that makes it even more premium, other than the case, is if we actually take this and then kind of flip it over here, you can see we have this like frosted acrylic on the back that looks really nice with these really big feet here, which give it a good grip on like your desk. And we put that there, basically doesn't move around. You can see my desk wobbling all around, which looks really, really nice. But the biggest thing with this, I think, is not the case being metal. I mean, yeah, that's a premium board, right? But what makes this really nice is the design that Nick implemented in terms of how these switches work. So we only have 5 screws here, as per typical on a corne build, to kind of hold everything together. But if we like shake this, you can hear there isn't any rattle there, and that's because this back plate is actually butted up right against those chock sockets there, which does 2 things to this. So first of all, a big issue that I typically have with hot swap boards when I build them on PCBs is that when you go to put the switches into it, you'll kind of have to do this like thing flipping around to kind of pull the plate and the switches together, because you'll be fighting that PCB like bouncing around. Many of you probably know what I'm talking about there, some of you probably don't. But on this one, the way it works is that you basically have that butted right up against there. So when you socket these in, you don't have to mess with that like spacing between the PCB and the plate. It just kind of works perfectly. So if I actually grab one of these, I can put this side down here, and I'm gonna grab over here a little keycap puller. So I'll grab a keycap puller, and I'll also grab a switch puller, which I think works with Choc. I actually haven't used this before on Choc, but we will find out here. I'm just going to pull off this keycap, or actually that worked out perfectly. It pulled out the entire thing, but you can see that if we take this switch here, these are also Choc Pro Reds that I got with the kit. Very nice switches. I really enjoy these. But if we just take that and just pop it in, you'll see that it just pops right in, which on normal Choc boards or normal PCB boards, you might have to pull the plate and stuff in places to kind of get those to fit right. So that design with that back plate there is kind of the biggest selling point I would actually say with this, because it also adds another layer on top of that where these switches are now actually, or the sockets are actually pushed up against it. For the longevity of the board, I don't think you're going to have an issue where you say push a socket out of place. That could happen on some boards where that isn't the design choice. So it's kind of those double layer there where it adds a really solid design for longevity, and also just making it a lot easier to hot swap your stuff in. If I can take my little keycap here and just pop that back on really quick too. Just pop that on there. But then the other thing it adds too is that if we click on this, you can kind of start to hear, which we'll see more in the typing test later. It just adds a really premium feel and just kind of density to the board that I've really enjoyed using it. I have used this for about a week now, so this is like the first video I've actually done where I've like kind of reviewed a unit before making a video, where normally I'll kind of like just use them on video and show it. I've actually been using this one daily for about a week now, and I could say pretty confidently that I really, really enjoy it. But that's mainly what makes this a premium corne, is that build quality of the anodized aluminum case here with that little interface section, and then that design with the backplate to kind of hold everything solid together. So I mean, there's not really much to say about this, which is kind of a video I've been struggling to actually put together, which is why I'm doing kind of like this rambly show and tell format. Because the beautiful thing with Typeractive boards that we've seen, I've done, this is my 3rd Typeractive build now, is that yes, they are a little bit pricey. I will say that in terms of them, because mainly they are wireless a lot of times. So this is wireless. It has these nice displays here, which we could talk about for a second actually, is that These are very cool displays. They're about 25 bucks a pop. You don't have to get these. You can opt to not use them if you don't want to, but I do always recommend them on wireless builds in particular because you get your connectivity on the right half here, and then also your battery life. And then on the left half, laid again, you can see like your layer info, a little word per minute graph there. But mainly that battery info is really nice on wireless builds. If this was wired, I wouldn't really recommend those, but on wireless, I do recommend getting these displays. It just kind of adds a little bit better touch there that helps you get some info on your board, because I don't believe the computer always reports the correct battery life on these. I think there's like a blurb on the actual documentation about that, but this should be more accurate because it's reading it from the nice Nano. But anyway, looping back to what I was beginning to say is that the thing with Typeractive boards that's really, really nice is that they're just super simple to put together. There really isn't a lot to it. That's why I'm doing this in kind of a rambly show and tell video format instead of a build video, because really all I had to do on this, if I actually pick this up here, is I only had to solder on this display, which yet again is optional. You don't have to go with that if you don't want to. You can just leave those off and you'll save about 50 bucks between both halves if you didn't use these displays, but yet again, they're pretty nice, so I do recommend them. But underneath also is that nice Nano for the wireless connectivity. So all I had to solder on were 5 pins for the display, and then there were 20 pins on each half for the nice Nano. So that's all I had to assemble. And then they also offer on their website, I haven't been able to actually source these anywhere, so I don't know where they're getting them. Nick, if you're watching this, let me know where you get those because they're really cool, but they offer this option of spring headers, so you don't even have to solder them if you don't want to. So you could just get those too and just use those and not have to solder anything, and then it makes it completely like plug and play for this board. But it's extremely easy to kind of get these boards up and running, and that's what I've consistently really liked about Typeractive builds, and that's why I've done so many of them up until now. But this one by far, in my opinion, is the best kind of evolution of the Typeractive Corne, because this case is just beautiful. It looks really nice, and I'm really happy with how it works. I mean, I don't really have many complaints with this, other than maybe the price. I think this is the only one I could complain about on this, is that it is kind of pricey, but I think it is pricey in a justified version, because I guess if we talk about a little bit about manufacturing now on this stuff, is that this is a split keyboard, right? So as of making this video, the premium case, so the aluminum case with the back and everything, is $150, right? Which might seem kind of steep at first like glance to that, but you have to think that this is actually 2 machine setups technically on a CNC. So we have our left half and our right half here. So it's technically 2 machine setups. And then there is that anodization coating on there, which I believe is anodized. It might be a powder coating. I'll correct that if it isn't, but this is also another process that has to be added on, the laser cut back. So I think when you take it at surface level, it's expensive, but when you actually start thinking about it, you know, you had to also think about the name of this as a premium Corne, right? So it is going to have a little bit more of a premium price point, but I think it's very justified for what it is because of that dual setup here. But I don't have much to say about it. Like, I don't really have much to say. It's a Corne layout. You know, if you like this layout, it's a very tried and true layout. If we sit on this, you can see it's very comfortable to kind of type on. I think it's like an 1/8 unit stagger, so each column here is an 1/8 unit down lower. A 3x6 layout. As of now, this only does come in a 3x6 layout, so there is no optional one where you can do like that with the 3x5 layout, which is fine because it's probably the most common that you'd see is this layout. Not everyone goes insane like me and wants the 3x5 there. But yeah, it's very nice. I think the only thing I could complain about on this, if I could complain about something, is that if we look in there, the battery cable is a little bit annoying to kind of deal with. I would have liked to see that battery connector be lower down so you get a little bit of strain relief there. That's really the only thing I can kind of complain about on this, and that's kind of nitpicking at this point, because also that battery isn't soldered, it's just plug in, so you can just plug it in and change it out. Battery life is pretty decent on this. They're 110 milliamp hour batteries, which with ZMK firmware last quite a while, which is really good to see. I think the peripheral side here, this is called the peripheral, and I believe this is called the master. So this is the side that connects to your computer, the left half. Basically, it will wirelessly communicate from this half to this half, and then this half is the one that connects over Bluetooth to the computer. But also, you could plug this in over a USB connection up top there, and then you get like a latency between the halves of like 7 milliseconds, I think it's about that. But then this half, of course, would be no latency, like a normal USB latency, because it'd be wired. So that's kind of how these work. You can't plug in the right half like on a QMK wired keyboard, so just something to keep in mind there, that this half will always be wirelessly paired to the left half. But that's kind of how that works with ZMK firmware. So what I want to actually do now is talk a little bit about the firmware on the computer, because this also did introduce something. I don't know if this was the first time they did it on a Typeractive board, but recently ZMK firmware actually announced ZMK Studio, which I did also add to one of my Handwire builds recently. It was really nice to kind of get it up and running. But it's basically a GUI interface on your computer where you can kind of change your key map with a graphical tool, and it's built right into ZMK. So like with QMK firmware, for example, they have Vile and Via, which are 2 separate branches, so you kind of have to work on 2 separate branches, which is a little bit annoying. But the ZMK Studio is built directly into ZMK, so it's kind of native, and it's still like in a beta phase. But what I want to do is I'm going to actually just take this onto the computer. Now I have to reflash the firmware actually because I'm running my own custom key map on here, which we'll talk about a little bit more once we get into the computer. But I'll show you what ZMK Studio is all about, because it's really cool and it's kind of another step on this that makes it a really nice corn kit to get into. So we're gonna jump into the computer and we'll just take a look. So here we are at the ZMK Studio website. Now this does offer a website version and then of course a Windows, Linux, and Mac OS version. So if you wanted those standalone, you can also do that. And it does work over Bluetooth and USB, but what I have here is just USB. So if we click on that, I can just find the corn right here and I can connect to it. And you'll see it pops up right here like so. Now, if this was over Bluetooth, I would have just done right over Bluetooth, which is nice. But what we could do here is just change our key map to whatever we want. Now, I'm not going to mess with this too much here because I actually do run my own compiled firmware on this board. I did reflashes with the official firmware just so I can show this to you because my version doesn't actually have Studio set up on it yet, which I could easily update, but I just haven't done that. So what I'm going to do here is just, for example, I use Colmac. So if I wanted to rebind this to ARST, I just simply click this here and come down here. I can type in an R in here if I can find where R is on a QWERTY layout because I don't remember how that works. I think it is, where is it? Right there, that is R. So we can change that to R and then that will kind of update that key to what it should be so we can actually type that and use it as whatever we want. You can save it up here, so you want to make sure you save it to the board. That will flash it to the memory. And that's basically it to ZMK Studio, which there's not much to this video. I feel like this video has a constant theme to it that there isn't much to this. It's just a really simple build to kind of get into. But ZMK Studio is just really powerful because now we have this built right into this, both over wired and Bluetooth, which I think is awesome that you could do this over Bluetooth too, so you don't need to be plugged in. I do use this wired in my basement because I've been using it actually upstairs in my room and not down here, so I just have it plugged in down here. But it's really nice that this program does exist now where we can like mess with our layers and we can just change whatever we want. We could do some kind of like combos down here. So if we selected like multiple things, we could enable like that to be that key, but I'm going to disable those because I don't need that. I am going to actually rebind this to Colmac after I do this like talking section. So I'll probably just time lapse through that so you can kind of get an idea how that works. But it's just really nice that like if I wanted to rebind this to S, I could just come on here and I could just type in S in here. That is actually not going to work because I rebound my S to R. So I could scroll down on the list here, select S, you'll see that goes to S, and then I can save it there, which is really nice. Now, the other thing about this too is that you're not only locked into features of ZMK Studio because this is still kind of in like a beta where they're still adding stuff to it. But if you have, say, more advanced stuff in your compiled version of the firmware that you use, say you use some more like advanced momentary or tap toggle things, which I do use in my own key map, those will still exist on here. You'll just see something kind of like this where it doesn't really show anything about it, but it will still work side by side with Studio, which is nice. So you kind of have that like best of both worlds thing here. But what I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to actually come through and just time lapse rebinding this so you can kind of get an idea how that works. So I'm going to rebind this to Colmac really quick. So yeah, that's now rebound to Colmac. You see kind of how quick and simple that was. You just select your key. I mean, I've kind of been over this a few times now with this, but like I mentioned, this is just, it's really a common theme in this video. This board is super simple to kind of use and set up and build, and that's the beauty of it. But what I'd like to do now is if I actually unplug this here, you'll see that pops off the thing here once you unplug it because it's no longer connected. If I actually show this here and type on it fakely again, you can kind of get the idea that this board sounds really good also, and that's because it does, and that kind of adds to the premiumness of this. Like I mentioned, how it's that stack up there, that really dense stack up. This is the first chalkboard that I could say actually sounds good, because most of the time chalkboards don't really sound good. They're just more of the low profile thing, right? But this one sounds good because of that stack up it has, because of that thickness with the aluminum here and that really dense plate design. And I think even the feet are probably doing something there because they're like these bigger rubber than usual. It just makes it sound really good. Now, these are Choc Pro Reds here. I think they're a little bit different than the Reds I use. I was thinking about asking Nick to send me pinks with it, but after using my chalk cert for a few months, I was like, pinks are a little bit okay. They're just kind of really light. So I really like how these Pro Reds are. I'm a really big fan of them. But what we're going to do now, of course, is we're going to go through and do an actual typing test on this, because that's where this really does start to shine too, and give another step to the premium label of it, is that it sounds and also feels better to type on because of that density, because of that aluminum, because of the acrylic on the back. Maybe it is slightly placebo there, I don't know, but I feel like it does sound and feel better. I know it definitely does sound better, but feel, maybe you could be the judge of that when you type on it, but I think it does sound and feel pretty good. So we're gonna go type on it now and kind of get an idea there. So yeah, that's a few minutes of me rambling about the Typeractive Premium Corne. Now, maybe I'm a little bit biased here to corne builds because it's what kind of started it all on my channel a few years ago, but this one here is really the best corne that I have used. I say that 100% truthfully here, that this is the best corne I have ever used in terms of the low profile, the really nice premium housing with that interface section there, which Nick did warn me was a little fiddly to kind of put together, which it was when I put it together. You have to like kind of press the piece in and then balance these like little connectors on there, which you don't have to put it on. You can leave it off if you don't want to, but it makes it more premium. That's kind of the whole thing here. So why would you not put it on? It was just a little challenging to get on there, but it looks really, really nice, and it has a really nice sound and feel to it. Just everything about it does scream premium to me, whereas some keyboards that you get that quote to be premium, you know, they don't really feel premium, but this one is one that I would say actually feels really, really nice, especially with these like keycaps. This is Nick's design here, which also came with the homing keys for Colmac, which was nice to see there. So you can see that is an homing MBK keycap right there with a little bump there. So it has for Colmac, and then of course QWERTY, which if I could find it here, I don't know if I could find it. I was actually messing around with another board and I burnt the keycap for the QWERTY one there, so it has like a big chunk taken out of it, which whoops, you know, sometimes stuff happens. But these are the Colmac ones on here, which looks really nice. We have multiple options for the bottom down here, but I went with just the blue. It kind of looked nice there, and I really like how it came out. It looks really nice. It types really nice. Like I mentioned a few times, pricing on this is of course steep. It is a premium corne, so I mean that's to be expected. But I don't have much else to say here other than, you know, if you're looking for a corne build, a really solid corne build, I would highly recommend this one. I'll link everything down in the description, and you can also kind of save some money if you kind of decided to opt against some things on this. So say if you didn't get the displays, you could save some money there. Maybe you don't go with their keycap set, save some money there if you wanted to. There's many options on there. Have like a configurator too, where you kind of pick all your parts on. It just makes it really easy to get started. That's what I love about Typeractive. It's just like a really easy place to get started with a build, especially for like a beginner, because I feel like a lot of people seeing this might not be some of my like longtime viewers who are just going to be kind of interested in a corne. So Typeractive comes highly recommended from me. But yeah, that is the Typeractive Premium Corne. I don't have much else to say here other than if you did enjoy this, comment, rate, subscribe, because I'm probably going to be doing more corne builds in the future again, of course, because everyone loves a corne build. It's a great board to like use. So with that, I'll see you guys next time.